Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning, khushamdi, ji ayanu, goedemorgen.
Bakhair agale, ni hao, chunashumme, washmale, ohai gunzaimis, guten morgen, hola, boyor, privyet, kaifahal, hale shuma chatore, ahlan wasalan, marhaba, buna, mucho, gracias, suavio, balli kare aaya. And ladies and gentlemen, everybody who's tuned in to PTV World, thank you very much for tuning in. You watching World This Morning, alongside the very fantastic, the very amazing, the very bold and beautiful Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. Hello Shiza, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you so much. What about you?
I think I'm feeling great too as well, thank God. Well, obviously, there are a number of people who actually love rain, but ladies and gentlemen, I think that we kind of overdid it, or Allah overdid it. Yeah, so it was raining for the past entire week. And then for the last 2 days, it was raining. So, when you go out, when you come in, and you're not in your comfort zone because everything's just getting wet. So thankfully, when I woke up today, the first thing I realized was it's not raining. I was
not raining.
Thank you, Allah Ji, that for whatever rain you've given us was filled with blessings for people over here in Islamabad and Rawalpindi, but for people in Karachi, I think that the problems were caused by people themselves. It wasn't a problem. Rain wasn't a problem. And I think that if in time we might have planned the city properly, we might not have come across such a situation, but we come across such a situation every year in Karachi.
No, but Shahzad, it breaks my heart. I mean, you look at Karachi, it's such a beautiful city. I mean, imagine, we look at the history of it, you look at the pictures from the 70s or even before that, it inspires me to actually really believe that, I mean, this was a part of Pakistan. It's really just beautiful. But then, of course, I mean, you rightly said, it's not literally the rain itself, but it's the system or the management of the city that we're talking about. Well, I really hope if the rains have to continue, because the Met Department is warning of more rains, right? In the coming days as well, not only in Karachi or Islamabad, but in so many different parts of the country too. So first of all, please stay tuned to the weather updates, because you should really be prepared for whatever is coming up, And also, if it's, of course, like raining cats and dogs, just stay at home, enjoy at the expense of your own window as well. And our thoughts and prayers, of course, go out to all those who have been deeply affected by these flash floods and rains happening in so many different parts of the country.
Exactly, and speaking in this context, ladies and gentlemen, Chief of Army Staff actually went to Karachi yesterday as well for a visit, and the Prime Minister Imran Khan is actually planning his visit ahead as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that the government is taking all the necessary measures which really people are supposed to take, or the governments are supposed to take. So I think that I'm going to put my trust in them. And
I have a lot of faith in them,
actually.
There
will be quite a lot of good solutions for people of Karachi. I've been in conversation with a lot of friends, people within DHA. I know that a few places have been cleared up, a few places are not. But people do not only live in DHA in Karachi, ladies and gentlemen. There are so many other places where people live, and for sure, there is water, and yes, the government will take all the necessary measures.
Right, definitely so. But Shahzad, do you feel like the heat spell is sort of broken after this continuous rain spell? Yeah? And do you think we're heading into probably the start of winter? Well, I know it's too early to speak, but I absolutely love winter, and I would like to hope that.
It's not too early to speak, because yesterday was the very first night when I didn't even turn on my air conditioner, and I didn't even turn on my fan. Fan, I do not like fan, and air conditioner because it was getting too cold. So I was happy of the fact that at least I'm going to save some electricity tonight. And yes, I had a great night, ladies and gentlemen, and I had good sleep.
Alhamdulillah. But the fact that, of course, now, hopefully, since the end is nearing of 2020 as well, we are probably getting to better things now. And maybe this is a good news for a lot of people, and maybe this is a bad news for a lot of students out there who are watching me right now, not only from Pakistan, but from more than 40 countries in the world. Well, schools are most likely to reopen within a week or so. Of course, there's going to be a final stance after the 7th of September as well. But I think it's going to be a good change after the longest summer vacation ever. I mean, imagine 4 months or more. So while a lot of students might be preparing to go back, the schools are really supposed to abide by all the SOPs strictly, because if they don't, of course, they will close again. So what are some of the SOPs they need to abide by? I think we do have a small video. Let's take a look at it, and then we come back and discuss it in further detail.
Let's do this.
Before you enter the school, you'll have to get your temperature checked. When you enter the school, you must stand at a distance from each other. You will sanitize your hands, and you will step into a tray that's going to sanitize your shoes. When you're walking through the hallways, remember you're going to keep a distance from each other, and remember, no handshaking, we're just going to wave at each other. Remember how we used to say hello before COVID-19? Well, things are going to change now. No fist bumps. No high fives. No handshakes. And no hugs. Instead, we're going to find new ways to say hello to each other. Ways in which we can keep our social distance. Our learning will continue the same way as before. It's just that we can't sit very close to our class fellows. Remember to keep your distance in the classroom and listen to your teacher for any safety instructions. We're going to be washing our hands very often and for 20 seconds each. Also remember, during this time, we're not bringing any snacks to school. Your canteen is most probably going to be closed. It's very important that you bring your water bottle with you every day. We're going to do everything on our end to make sure that you're safe and healthy. We look forward to having you back with us.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so this was one of those videos which I recently watched and was very reassuring as well. Only if schools are able to follow all of these SOPs, I think it's going to be beautiful.
Right,
But
absolutely.
before we actually get into that conversation, whether schools are actually following all of the SOPs or not, there's one more thing which I wanted to highlight, and this
Yeah.
is something, Shiza, which I've observed myself, and that is that since I think that it was the longest ever summer vacation, and for the very first time in the lives of teachers as well, that they really didn't have to go to school, and now they
Right.
will be engaged so that the administrative staff can take over. But not just that, I think what I've witnessed so far is that kids actually forgot whatever they learned. Even when we talk about online education, yes, but I've seen a lot of kids sleeping while taking their online
Aw.
classes. So I think it's a good omen. I think it's a good sign, and it's a good sign for Pakistan that, ladies and gentlemen, even in our neighboring countries, we see that schools are not opening up or public places are not opening up. So Allah has been very kind. And yes, the world is actually praising Mr. Imran Khan, our Prime Minister, for the kind of decisions he has taken, smart lockdowns, whatnot.
And
I
learning
think-
from us.
Exactly, and learning. And then at the same time, making sure that we move into the positive direction. We are moving in. And if everything else is open, I think schools need to be open too as well.
Most definitely so. So without further ado, I think we need to get all the details and some of the solutions rather on how we can make this a permanent thing of, schools opening. We have a perfect person over here in the studio. I know I always say that, but this one is actually really apt for this topic. She happens to be an educationist. She happens to be a teacher trainer as well for a very reputable organized institution rather over here in Pakistan. Miss Musarrat Jahan Saib. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Welcome back.
Walaikum assalam, Shiza. I like it calling me welcome back because I've had a talk about
Yes.
before COVID as well. And thank you so much for inviting me
It's
over
our
and
pleasure.
taking me on board for such a crucial topic, which is, very matter of concern for every parent
Absolutely.
and the school leader right now.
Right.
So thank you for having me on the show.
It's
you
our
very
pleasure,
much.
ma'am. So to begin with, right now, I'm pretty sure hundreds of mothers should be calling you and asking you if it's a good decision to send their kids to school. Is it really opening? Not just your institution, generally all public and private institutions in Pakistan. So paint us a picture of what's going to happen.
Yes, Shiza, you see, when COVID actually hit the globe
Yeah.
and schools were actually led to the closure, the decision that was taken wasn't only local, it was a globally taken decision.
Yeah.
And right now, what we see is out of 134 countries, 105 countries are ready to open the school back, and they, in many cases, they have already shared the dates with the parents.
Yes.
So yes, I think this is a very, very crucial moment for all the stakeholders who are involved, whether school leaders, the teachers, or the parents, or the children themselves.
Right.
It's so very important that we all sit across the table and find ways to, ensure safety of the students, which has been the topmost priority in the last 6 months. And yes, I come across parents who very often ask this question, are you guys opening the school?
Yeah.
And in a lot of times you feel as if they need a reassurance and they just want to hear it from the school leaders in the school, so that, but I think it's just a very mutual responsibility.
Definitely.
And I'm sure that schools have already started working on certain SOPs, and there are very important guidelines that have been shared with the schools. So they have to be, I just was watching a video that was shown a while ago.
Yeah.
This is call of the time. As for school, going school back, we might not have the same way we've been to school
Definitely.
couple of months back, and we might face a lot of changes in the way we treat ourselves and the others.
Definitely.
And I think it's a whole lot of cultural change. But it's so very important that we have parents taken on board. And we have this anxiety and the stress level of the parents coming down, where they very often ask this question, is it safe to send the child to the school?
I think more than the kids, the parents are so fearful and uncertain
Exactly,
of the situation. right?
exactly. So I'm sure that the SOPs that are being designed by the schools and the guidelines that are being prepared, they're keeping the child's safety at the center of
We
everything.
will
that
definitely
happens.
come back to the kind of SOPs which the schools really need to understand or probably undertake. We will talk about that. But there's this one thing which you have just said, and I just want to clarify on that too as well. You said that it is a mutual responsibility, it's a shared responsibility. I tend to disagree, and it's because of the fact that once the kid is at home, we're going to tell her or him that okay, you're not supposed to shake hands, you're not supposed to probably meet anybody, no physical touches and whatnot. But once the kid actually enters the school, the responsibility needs to be 100% taken by the school, not the parent.
You're absolutely right, Shahzad. But what is educated at school and what the child is being informed about at the school, if that is not taken back home and the parents are not in the picture exactly what the child has been trained and educated about, then we're at a loss again.
All right.
So that is why I say it's a very
So
mutual
let's
decision.
make them a part of the picture. For all of those parents who are out there, tell them how are they part of the picture and how are they going to play their role?
I think with START, we are going to have children who at the center of everything, and their safety and well-being is, of course, most crucial.
Exactly.
So they are going to have a lot of sessions where they would be educated about new norms and new normals probably of the schools.
Right.
And schools have already been informed about not holding assemblies, not having certain breaks,
No
not
game
having kind of
periods.
activities that would have children gather together. And schools are going to be actually conducted in a manner where we would have probably children, I'm talking about one of the very leading schools, maybe it doesn't happen across the board, but a lot of schools are going to be taken on to the hybrid model. So, you have children present physically, and then you have some of the children sitting home who are being a part of the classroom. Online and virtual learning is still on.
Yeah.
So that would actually reduce the number of children in the class, so it automatically helps you have a social distancing.
All right.
Plus, children are going to be educated about how to treat each other and how to treat themselves.
Right. That is so important.
Yeah, because you not only have to care about your own health, and you need to be able to know if this is the time for me to stay back home.
Oh, definitely.
There's then another side of the picture.
Okay.
Children can be stigmatized or could be isolated over the fact that, oh, you've got flu, or you've got fever.
definitely, yeah.
So we need to educate them how to sensitively deal with the situation and all that.
I definitely do agree with you, Ms. Masarrat. It is definitely a combined approach that everyone has to come together and do. But now what I'm going to ask is sort of off the topic of SOPs and return learning to school. You know, over the period of months, 4 or even more, the education system has revolutionized. I mean, of course, while some would be thinking to move it online, this was a sudden jump and everyone had to do it. It was, like you said, a global thing, not something local. So now when we look at an education system or an approach which is 24/7 available, times which are flexible, you can contact your teacher anytime, your mom can actually ask anything about your homework class from your teacher. And now moving back to the, what is it called? Blackboard
Blackboard?
system. Yeah, sorry. Blackboard
These
system.
days we have whiteboards though.
Yeah, whiteboard system. All right. So do you think the shift is first of all going to be easy? And secondly, do you think the flexible model is better than the strict one that we have 9 to 2 or, 8 to 2, whatever the timings are?
The timings are going to be flexible,
Okay,
I
okay.
guess. Let me talk about the model that the schools have earlier
Yes.
had and now the changes. Let's not forget, Shiza, that there were schools who took over virtual learning overnight with the change in our scenario.
Without thinking twice.
Yes, and they were generally the schools who already have had technology used in the classroom.
Yes.
And the teacher training was so well at place that they knew about the modern teaching strategies. They were aware of the softwares and the different apps they could be using. So it was, although frustrating, yet a smooth process for schools too. Now, going back to school, let's not assume that we're going to be going back to the very original scenario we've had at the start of the March or before that, before COVID.
We can't do that.
Yes, because for some time, schools will have to have the hybrid model, as I said earlier, and they will have to have strategies adopted that are interactive, yet ensure safety of the students and ensure the social distancing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
But now I think what we're missing out on, or every parent out there is missing out on, is that the most vulnerable segment within the schools is the teachers, because when we speak of COVID, COVID has been very friendly with kids rather than it has been not very friendly with people my age or your age or anybody probably above 30, ladies and gentlemen, for that matter. Yeah, I'm old now. But then now what we really need to know is how are the schools looking after their teachers, because most often we have seen is that teachers do complain that the schools really do not worry about them, rather the students, because they are the ones who bring
I
the bread
think,
to the
Shahzad,
school.
when we went online and we took on to the virtual learning and teaching, it was not the students alone.
Yep.
It was the safety and security of the staff, teachers, students, and everybody involved in teaching and learning that was ensured.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, if you're talking about the mental health of the teacher, then that is one factor that has to be looked after and has been looked after.
Okay.
And I think the best thing that can ensure the mental stability and emotional level of the teacher to be at place is that they should be supported and they should have proper teacher training.
Yes.
Now let's not forget that virtual learning is altogether a different domain, and not everything we do physically in the classroom can be done online.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean, to
So,
begin with, you can't
yes.
even retain the attention.
Yes, if the schools do not have the structures to support teachers for that, they do not have the platforms to educate their teachers to take on to this challenge. So yes, we fear the mental or
Right.
the.
Yes.
As far as physical health of the teacher is concerned, it can be ensured just the way we're ensuring the health of the students and anybody else involved in schooling by following those SOPs and the guidelines we are talking about.
Now the only problem over here is, I'm very sorry that I asked multi-tier questions. The only reason why I asked you this question was that a parent would actually be very careful about whether their kid has got flu or probably have any symptoms of COVID, God forbid, and will make sure that he or she is not going to send their child to the school.
Right.
So that everybody else is protected. With teachers, it's different. They miss out a day, their salary gets deducted, and there can be somebody who's so passionate that even if they were down, they thought, okay, it's better to go to work. That's one thing. The other thing, I've been to some private schools recently. They have those sanitization gates and whatnot, but they're not working. They're turned off. And once you pass from the gate, that's when it starts spraying. So I think that everything needs to be looked into, attention to detail. Everything needs to be done very carefully, and everything needs to be up and running. How are we going to ensure that? Are we actually deciding that we're going to hire certain people who are going to look after these issues every day, all day long?
Shahzad, there are two parts of the question.
Yeah.
One is, do teachers actually understand the importance of looking after themselves?
Yes.
So yes, they do. And this is probably would be a bit of exaggeration if we just say that they're just scared of, of salary cut and they would still be so passionate to be coming to school.
Yeah.
The first thing that the school leaders did at the beginning of the COVID was inform the staff that they have to look after themselves first, and they are allowed to take any sick leave anytime they are not feeling well. So that stands for the teachers as well as it stands for the student. Just the way a student can take off, the teacher is allowed to take off at just one single phone call and a text.
Perfect.
She can stay home or he can stay home.
That's great.
Secondly, how do school leaders and administrators ensure that we have everything at place?
Yeah.
So I think, yes, schools have to probably form teams who would be involved in taking extra measures that we are talking about are necessary for the school's children's safety and security, and there have to be constant monitoring for that. And I think, I'm sure there is going to be, one of these, yes, monitoring system done by the government
And a
as
sense
well.
of responsibility
You
by
just
the
cannot,
teachers.
if the decision of opening school has not been left to schools,
Right,
and the government
right.
had very considerately, I would say, taken care of everything, and there's still a lot of things are under debate, how we go back and make everything safe and secure. Though I am sure there is going to be a monitoring system as well. Plus, this is where I go back to parental involvement. You earlier said, how can parents? I think this is the very high time now. Parents should go back to school and have a look at how schools are prepared to take their child on board and back to school physically, if the safety measures are ensured or not. So I think this is one of the roles of the parents they will have to now.
Amazing.
Wow, perfectly answered as well. But towards the end of the segment, Ms. Masarrat, I want you to answer this on behalf of all the educationists of Pakistan, right? So when we talk, I feel like the discussion that we've been having so far is definitely sort of about the schools that are elite, or I want to say private, or probably located in urban areas or main cities. Now, when we say that the schools may open on the 15th of September, the school, for example, I know I shouldn't be naming, for example, let's say TCF in my village, away from Shahpur, which is like miles and miles away, is also going to open. And hundreds of girls and boys are going to go back to school as well. How can those places make sure that, well, the spread of COVID can be curtailed, first of all, and then education is at par with everyone else?
Well, Shiza, I would not be really exaggerating the stuff saying
Okay.
that everybody has been at par in ensuring the quality of teaching and learning when we were virtual.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
While we were virtual and online, we did have schools who had no access to internet, who had no access
Yes.
to any online facility. So the children have been deprived of all this interaction time and the learning time.
Agreed.
So yes, that is one thing that I think we as community need to sit together and devise ways where schools and school leaders or the people involved in teaching and learning voluntarily support these schools. One thing, they can probably launch a campaign, they could have an awareness campaign designed, they could have certain training sessions planned for them so that they could, educate them how to take on. One thing.
Yeah.
Secondly, if you're talking about the traveling thing, I think with the number of children that has been reduced in a classroom right now, that's what I see for some time, till we actually are satisfied that this is safe to be back to our regular normal. Schools are going to have less number of children attending physically over a day.
Right. Yeah.
So that actually reduces the stress and the fear factor of, a lot of interaction in a traveling situation as well.
Okay,
Like,
that's
I mean, if the bus is carrying 20 children on a regular day to school, the driver might carry 10 children on one day and the 10 on the other day, because that's how I see the schools be running for
I
some
think
time.
wonderfully, I think well said, but yes, we wish best of luck to all of those schools which are opening up, which are planning to opening up as well. But thank you very much.
And would you please give me just one more
Sure.
chance, because we started with
You've taken the chance already, please go ahead.
Thank you. We started with the role of the stakeholders in that.
Yeah.
Now, the schools are already looking after the guidelines and then SOPs. So I again would go back to the role of the parents. Please ensure children eat healthy. Please ensure they have enough sleep time. Please ensure that they have peace of mind and their emotional needs are looked
Definitely.
after. And if there is an issue regarding their health, emotional health or psychological, please collaborate with schools, talk to the schools, communicate more often to the schools about how children are facing the problems and all that, so that we could look after them.
Thank you very much. That's great as well. And then at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you tell your kids not to share their lunches, not to share their water bottles. And yes, for teachers, you know, the kids have been sleeping at 5 a.m. in the morning, so please make sure that you're a little patient as well
be
as the
hard.
kids sleeping.
Yes.
But for all of those people who are out there, ladies and gentlemen, I just went to my daughter's school recently. They've given them the mask, hazmats, and whatever the school could do in their capacity. I think, yes, I'm going to come back to the point where ma'am actually said that it's going to be shared responsibility. God forbid, if there is somebody in your home who you think might have COVID, please make sure that you do not send your kid to the school as well, because then you are risking the teachers and other kids' life as well. And same goes for the teachers. If you have somebody in your house who's actually suffering from COVID, please make sure you get yourself tested first and then show up at school.
Absolutely. So every individual has to be responsible over here. Thank you so much for being here, Ms. Musarrat. Ladies and gentlemen, right now we are definitely headed to a very short break, just so you guys can go and grab your chai and coffee probably.
Yeah.
But when we come back, we promise you we'll have something really musical and
Groovy.
melodious. Oh yeah, something
let's do
groovy over
that.
here.
Come on, let's
Stay
do that.
tuned to find out. Good morning.
The ancient city of Taxila is the heart of stonework in Pakistan. This art, which has been preserved and practiced for centuries, can be seen on many major landmarks of the country. Notably, the Pietra Dura work in the Lahore Fort's Sheesh Mahal. These stone products take days to complete and require immense precision and skill from the craftsmen. The final products are perfect for souvenirs, gifts and decoration pieces, each depicting the richness of Pakistani culture at its best.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning into P2 World and then watching Well this morning with Shahzad Khan and Shaza Hashmi. So while we do have something really interesting planned for you guys for this segment, I think while we were on the break, we were talking about...
You really want to touch upon that?
I mean, first of all, you did a great show yesterday.
Thank you very
You
much.
always do great. I mean, of course, you have this area of expertise now and you're
I love
expanding
it.
even more. So, well, I'm really happy that Pakistan won.
Yeah, even I'm really happy, ladies and
Babar
gentlemen.
Azam did great.
Yeah, Babar Azam, yes, obviously he's been doing a wonderful job for himself, but as a captain, yes, there are certain question marks for that. But other than that, I think Heather Ali and Mohammed
Yes.
Hafiz did a great job yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. And yesterday was the very first day when I actually did the sports show and Pakistan won. Because for the last 2 years, whenever I did the show, Pakistan lost, ladies and gentlemen. So yesterday, yes, I was very happy. Thank you, Dr. Shah, for giving me that opportunity.
So I
once
think
again.
you and Sarfaraz saved the day.
Yeah, but Sarfraz didn't really play. Sarfraz should have gotten the chance, but yes, eventually it was. I think we were very happy with the decision that Sarfraz was actually taken back in the team as well, because
Same here.
unfortunately he couldn't play for a longer period of time. Now that he's fit, we really want to see him in action. But other than that, there's some other action, ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
which we have planned for you. So first up, this music video. Go ahead, take a listen, and when you guys will come back, we'll actually make sure that you guys get to see the person who is in that music video and the person who made sure to give the money for the music video. Let's take a look.
अख लड़ी बदो बदी मौका मिले कदी कदी अख लड़ी बदो बदी मौका मिले कदी कदी खलनी किसने देखी मजा लिए अजदा आए हाय अख लड़ी बदो बदी मौका मिले कदी कदी तेरे को नो दिल ऐसा एको वारी मंगना एको वारी मंगना तेरे को नो दिल ऐसा एको वारी मंगना किता इनकार जतू कोलो नहीं ओ लंगना गल करा खरी खरी समझी ना है नुतड़ी खलनी किसने देखी मजा लिए अजदा आए हाय अख लड़ी बदो बदी मौका मिले कदी कदी अख तेरे नाल लड़ गई है भाई बीच बाजारी कुड़ी तू मैनू चढ़ गई है भाई बीच बाजारी सोनी तू सबसे है सोनी तेरे जैसी और नहीं होनी बन जा तू मेरे दिल की रानी तेरे जैसी और नहीं होनी और नहीं होनी और नहीं होनी जिंद तेरे ना करा
It's very catchy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that was a cover from one of the songs of Malika Tarannum, Miss Noor Jahan, Akh Lade Bado Badi. But the guy who's actually attempted it is one of the emerging stars over here in Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen. And over here, everybody knows that on PTV World, we have this platform so that we can really make sure that people are getting that kind of promotion which they require if they're talented. But there's one more thing, and that is that hard work beats talent, ladies and gentlemen. And this person is not just talented, but is hardworking as well. He's the one and only Mr. Ram Yassin Rana. Hello, Assalamu alaikum, Rana Sahab. How are you?
Walaikum assalam and thank you. First time you call me Rana.
and there's a
I really
reason.
liked it. I really liked
And there's a reason why I've actually called you Rana, and that is that, you know, once now, ladies and gentlemen, when the sheet actually came in front of me, obviously he's been a friend for a longer period of time, that I'm a Rana too, and so I was like, okay, you know, why not just mention it? And the Miss actually came out because I was about to say Mr. So, you know, so she's a kind of laughed out a little earlier, but it's perfectly all right. But thank you very much for joining us. Wonderful to have you, and it's always wonderful to listen to your music.
Thank you very much. You call me all the time on your show. It's very wonderful for me. Whenever I come here, this is dream comes true in PTV because I love PTV.
Oh, that's wonderful. And ladies and gentlemen, alongside Mr. Inam, we've actually been joined by somebody who's been financing his videos, who's been producing his videos as well. And such a friend is someone whom you really need in your life.
Exactly.
And it's because of the fact that you might not be able to fulfill all the bills, but yes, you have a friend who looks after your passion and then makes sure that, okay, let's go forward and keep that direction. Ladies and gentlemen, such wonderful people are always known as good friends. He is the one and only Mr. Shahid Maqbool. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very good.
Allah ka shukar, alhamdulillah, I'm doing wonderfully well as well. But Shahid, I've got a question for you, and that is that, so you produced this music video.
Yes.
You've been working with Inam, and you always had a passion to be on television. But did you actually ever knew that you were going to be on our show?
Yes. He is my good friend.
Yes.
And मुझे लगा कि भाईजान एक अच्छा टैलेंट है.
जी.
तो हमने कहा बैठे तो थोड़ा बहुत फाइनेंस किया जाए और इसको प्रमोट किया जाए. अल्लाह का शुक्र है जूं माशाल्लाह आपने देखा कि हमारे बहुत अच्छे दोस्त हैं नाम भाई, और जिस तरह सॉन्ग गा रहे हैं माशाल्लाह अच्छी जो से परफॉर्मेंस हो रही है. इंशाल्लाह आने वाले वक्त में आपको न्यू वीडियोस मिलेंगी जिसमें ये आपको परफॉर्म करते नजर आएंगे.
Heavy finance.
Heavy finance. Ladies and gentlemen, it always comes down to the money. But yes, I think what Maqbool Sahab has said over here, that yes, he's a good friend and that he always wanted to give him that push which he required because he had the talent and he was working hard. So good job. And yes, for the upcoming videos, Mr. Inam over here actually wants to renegotiate with the friend who actually helped him in the first place. So Mr. Inam,
Renegotiate.
what do you mean by heavy budget? The music needs to be good, and whatever kind of video you make just needs to go with it. I think that's the kind of trend the world's following.
Yes, this is a trend, but whenever you are going to make some good music, you have to make your good videos. Everybody said that your music is fantastic, but you have to concentration on your videos because there is something wrong with the videos. I don't know what's wrong, but clearly they are not clear. Give me the clear picture. But I thought, okay.
I think they were just holding their words back probably so that you don't feel bad about it.
No, but can I tell you something? Because Inam, we've been listening to your music for so long and we've listened to you live as well. So mashallah, there's no doubt that you have immense talent. So this is my personal opinion, people can disagree. If I like a song, if it's on my playlist, I will never watch its video. It's a fact. I do not watch music videos because I feel like, what if the video doesn't work? It will ruin the song for me. I cannot listen to the song again. So if even you don't make a video, I think your song by itself, the audio of it is amazing. You really don't need something to support it for real.
But you know what? There are some songs which I just kind of listen to because of the video.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
The other way around as
Every
well.
song today is demand of the video.
Yeah.
If you have no video, nobody can understand what you make.
Okay.
Because first of all, you have to make the audio. Then you have. It is it is necessary for the audio songs. You have to make the video.
Okay, so I like it that you feel like that, and you're definitely working on both of them. So in the future, are we expecting something Inam original to come?
Yes, already I have done. Last time.
More, I mean.
Yes, inshallah, more. I will. I have one kalam also, and I have one more song. It's like Metro. Can I?
Yeah, we can definitely sing that, but towards the end of the show. But I just want to go back to Shahid over here. तो शाहिद, जैसा कि इनाम ने अभी बताया कि वीडियोस जो हैं आजकल बहुत ज़रूरी हो गई हैं. जब भी हम ग्लोबल म्यूज़िक की तरफ देखते हैं, ये म्यूज़िक वीडियोस की तरफ देखते हैं, तो लोग बाहर के मुल्कों में जाते हैं. फ्रांस जाते हैं, इटली जाते हैं, स्विट्ज़रलैंड जाते हैं, पाकिस्तान में भी बहुत अच्छी जगह है, ऐसा नहीं है कि नहीं है. तो क्या आप आने वाले दिनों में इनाम को ऐसे किसी मुल्क में ले जाके वीडियो शूट करेंगे?
इंशाल्लाह हमारा प्रोग्राम है. इंशाल्लाह इस दफ़ा आपको पता है कोविड आया हुआ है
जी.
तो हमारा इस साल प्रोग्राम था कि इस्तांबुल तुर्की जाके अच्छी एक वीडियो बनाई जाए
जी.
जहां हमने कुछ फाइनल किया हुआ था, लेकिन इंशाल्लाह नेक्स्ट ईयर आपको इंशाल्लाह आपको लगेगा कि या तो दुबई या तो इस्तांबुल आपको अच्छी वीडियो मिलेगी. जो पाकिस्तान की भी बहुत अच्छी जगह है, जिस तरह आप देख रहे हैं कि नीचे नेचुरल ब्यूटी, स्वाद, नरान कान बहुत अच्छी जगह हैं. तो लेकिन आजकल जो आपको पता है कि वीडियो की डिमांड आ गई है कि जब तक आपको बाहर ममालिक की कोई टच नजर ना आए तो वो प्रमोट ज़्यादा नहीं होती है. ठीक है, तो
लेकिन इसी चीज़ को मद्देनजर रखते हुए, लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, over here what Mr. Shahid is saying that in near future, obviously next year around, when COVID is actually going to settle down, they're going to go to Turkey or Dubai and then shoot a music video for Mr. Inam as well. But the only problem over here is that Mr. Inam's wife does not allow him to come.
He always talks about it.
To have been casted alongside a girl or next to a girl. So, God forbid if they're going to go to Turkey or Dubai, I think that he's going to have some marital issues too as well.
Or you'll have to take the wife too.
Yes. Or probably just cast her in the video, that's something which we can do. But do you still have that problem? Does Bhabhi not understand that, you're a rock star in the making, and these are the things which he really needs to be habitual of or used to of?
Now she can understand little bit, but
Little,
little bit because
what
not-
do we actually mean by little bit?
yes, little bit because she's my wife. She loves me, so that's why she's failing. She's jealous. She's also jealous with him because I've spent my lots of time with him.
Yeah.
So all the time she said, "Why you are going?"
ये
"आपकी
शाहिद एक तो जो है ना
शाहिद भाई,
मत्थे पर
शाहिद
ही."
भाई. His mom also fed up for me. She said,
But moms are different, yeah. Wives are different. Don't mix moms and wives, yeah.
Because
the emotion
he's
of
not
a
get-
mother,
he's not
wha-
get
no,
married,
the
so
emotion
that's
of a
why.
mother, whatever may probably happen, she's never going to say anything bad about your friend.
Yes.
But the emotion of a wife, as soon as she utters anything, that's going to be something bad about your friend.
ये देखिए
That's a fact.
जो बेगम को जो ज़्यादा जेलस होती है वो आपके फ्रेंड से ज़्यादा होती है, ठीक है? अगर आपको
लगता है आपकी भी शादी हुई
नहीं हुई।
नहीं हुई तो भी इतना जानते हैं आप क्या बात
करानी
he's
मेरे
learning
करीब रहते
from
हैं ना,
Anam.
मेरे करीब रहते हैं तो
ये
इसलिए
बता रहा हूँ अभी आप सुखी हैं फिर आप दुखी हो जाएंगे
नहीं, इंशाल्लाह.
if you
ऐसा
are
कुछ नहीं
habitual of
होगा.
staying with your friend. You know, you do not really have to defend it. It was
Yes.
just a joke, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
just
Very
tried
sorry
to
for-
promote-
for-
No,
for
I'm not
cracking
calling-
very cultural jokes over
Yes,
here.
yes.
I'm sorry for that, but yes, obviously.
I like to spread positive things as well, which is why I always want to add something
Well,
nice
what
onto
can be
it as
more
well.
positive than a joke, yeah?
Yes.
A good joke? I mean,
Good job.
Well, that
And
was
this
in
is
my
the
case.
one of the best joke.
really?
You know,
Okay.
every married person like this joke because they know about their wives. So.
Yeah, okay. So what we're going to do is, you know, since we're left with very short period of time, we want you to please shed light on the upcoming projects. Yes. And then towards the end, we're actually interested in listening to the kalam, and you can dedicate it to anybody whom you want. So what are the upcoming projects? What are your fans waiting for?
Upcoming project is I'm going to make the Metro song. It's like Metro Te Lad Gayi Aakh Tere Naal. It's a song. It's a
Okay,
fast
literal
song.
metro. Okay,
Yeah,
got
it's,
it.
it's a fast song. It's like this.
Interesting.
Metro te lad gayi akh tere naal, akh tere naal, akh tere naal. Kehndे मैनू लोकी तू, कहंदे मैनू लोकी तू कुड़ी है कमाल, कुड़ी है कमाल, कुड़ी है कमाल. तेरे पीछे सारे टेंशन छड़ते, फिर भी ना, फिर भी ना, फिर भी ना बस तू हाय मेरे नाल, हाय मेरे नाल, हाय मेरे नाल. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And
It's very catchy as well.
It is fun, but you know, there's one thing which you really need to be to have in your mind, and that is that, you know, once Billo came out from
I was literally going to say that.
Kine Kine Jana Hai, Billo de car, there was quite a lot of controversy, and we really do not want to give that message out there that you can probably akhlada on the metro or BRT or if you are you know, traveling on public transport, ladies and gentlemen, this is not one thing which we support, okay?
This is local. This is local song, so that's why you know.
Yeah,
lots of
respect
people-
everybody's privacy while you're
Yeah.
traveling in public
Yes.
transport. Okay,
Yeah,
yes,
and
yes,
the-
that's one thing. It's a song, it's a concept, and he might have actually come across such a thing, but we really do not endorse it.
Right.
Yes, it's not
So, and
endorsed.
I'm very quickly towards the. Should we actually listen to
Club.
it while
Yeah,
we're
so
heading
what
out?
we're going to do is, ladies and gentlemen, that we're going to wrap up the show, and then we'll move on to Mr. Inam over here, and he's going to lead us out with the kalam. So, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you write to us on our Facebook page, which is with the name of
Well, this morning.
on Twitter,
Well, this morning without a G.
on Daily Motion and YouTube.
It's PTV World, and then you look for World this
And the
morning.
fabulous repeat's going to be at
5 past midnight tonight.
Yes, make sure to tune in once again, ladies and gentlemen. So over to you. Look after yourselves. Good morning.
ज़माना जानदा हली ज़ीशाने, ज़माना जानदा हली ज़ीशाने. हो नासिर नबियां दा, हो नासिर नबियां दा, शाहे मर्दान. ज़माना जानदा हली ज़ीशाने. मेरे अल्ली नू ज़माना जाने, मौला अल्ली नू ज़माना जाने. ज़माना जानदा हली ज़ीशाने. मरहब दे सिर ते चल गई हली दी जा तलवारे. मौलाइयां खुश हो के हली दे लाए नारे. मौलाइयां खुश हो के हली दे लाए नारे. ओ मेरा पीर अली है, नबी दा वीर अली है.